Paragon City, where you are a hero.
Think back to the earlier days of online gaming. Picture yourself playing that one game you spent hours and hours on, creating memories with either friends in real life or friends in that game that you will never forget. Gaming can be a very special experience, and a lot of times we wish we could go back to those days and experience the nostalgia. Whether it was a game that was shut down, turned off, lost to time, what have you, many of us feel this way. That's why the topic of this video is very special to thousands of people out there on the internet. If you haven't heard lately, City of Heroes has had a major resurgence in the online gaming scape, with the release of leaked information about a private server and the struggles of those behind it to keep it alive and in secret in fear of it getting shut down from the bigwigs at NCSoft. If you don't know, City of Heroes was released in April of 2004 and was permanently shut down in November of 2012. Fans were heartbroken, and for the past almost decade, they have been reminiscing about being able to adventure as a superhero or supervillain in the fictional virtual landscape of Paragon City. Over the past couple of weeks, a gamer by the name of Destroyer Troyer told his story about having to keep an unofficial server under wraps, and how many of these players were invited to the secret game and had to keep it hush-hush in fear of losing their cherished game. Now, before you attack me for making a public video about this topic, there are tons of others out there getting the word out that City of Heroes is indeed able to be played again, encouraging others to come share in the experience and see what they have been missing for years. I was maybe about 15 when I first gave City of Heroes a try, and in my naivety and youth, I truthfully never understood the allure behind City of Heroes, but now that I'm older, I'm much more crafted in the art of online role-playing games, more experienced. I can honestly say that I finally understand the magic behind City of Heroes, and why so many people have hoped and prayed to see a return. The whole story of this resurgence is so interesting that I honestly recommend that you give it a read or watch by other YouTubers like Nova, who cover it in a much greater detail. Now, I am a straight noob when it comes to City of Heroes. Much of the gameplay is much slower than to my main game, DC Universe Online. Much of the HUD and mechanics of the game is pretty confusing, especially if you really never played the game before. Honestly, I'm not even sure if many of the gamers nowadays would even truly enjoy a game like this in 2019. But even with all of that, I am having so much fun creating my toon. There is a plethora of different customization options for your perfect virtual super self. I made a soldier first and just got my feet wet, reminding myself how to play the game. Then I created my second character. I customized his appearance, his powers, how I wanted to play, colors of my powers, my animations, my name. He even thought of a backstory for him. When creating a character, it's overwhelming the amount of choices you have. You can be a hero, you can be a dastardly villain, and in the later years of City of Heroes when it was in development, they introduced the gray area where you can be neither hero or villain, and from what I understand, you could cross over when they released the expansion City of Heroes Going Rogue. I mean, first off, you can create up to 1,000 characters. That in itself is insane. At least that was the build I was playing. Not sure if you were able to do that in the official game back in 2012. Once in the character creation screen, it's best to just imagine what you want to play. Do you want to be a tank defending your allies, an up-close and personal warrior, a distant foe that can barrage their enemies, someone who can summon a horde of different pets to control at their own will, a healer that will help recover allies, or maybe someone who can control and make their opponents suffer with their powers? There are so many different augmented power sets in the game, it's just insane. You could quite literally almost play anything you wanted, and once you learn the mechanics of the game, can still be very, very viable. It's all about the customization here. I mean, look, I created a Scrapper, which is an archetype that kind of augments themselves and their stats into being a more melee-focused class. Within that archetype, I could create someone who uses staves, someone who knows martial arts, someone who uses swords, and then even further, I could use swords that were dark energy focused, ice, fire, electricity. I mean, just look at all these options. This is crazy. You see, all of these things you can do in City of Heroes plays to those who wanted to make their own story online and share that story with others. Games like DC Universe Online and Champions Online are more interested to an extent on just gameplay, but City of Heroes has gameplay and all of those other features. It may be an old game, but it truly is an experience unmatched. Just the sheer amount of different things you can customize sold the game back in the day to thousands of players. For DC Universe Online viewers out there, ever wonder why certain powers play the way they do? Many of the mechanics and gameplay styles you can thank City of Heroes for. Just to give an example, fire tanks in DC Universe Online heal themselves, right? Just give a guess on how some fire powers work in City of Heroes. Yep, they can heal themselves with some of their powers as well. Ever wonder where some of the role-playing elements in Champions Online gets their ideas? Well, some of the developers of City of Heroes worked on Champions Online. I haven't experienced some of the endgame of City of Heroes, but watching gameplay of some of the higher leveled content really gets me excited. I mean, look at some of the large scale battles. It looks really intense. There's just a lot going on here. I can't even fathom what is supposed to be done here, but it really does look like a lot of fun. And I think that's my overall point with this resurgence. People want to have fun. To those that wanted to bring this game back, they wanted to truly share in the fun that they used to have in their younger days. We've all gotten older, our taste in games have changed, but for some, like me, we still want to boot up something old, retro, nostalgic. Call it what you will. We still want to play games like this. I don't care if the latest game on the market looks like real life or has some sort of flashy combat or whatever. I can still go back to old games and have an amazing time. And I think it's the time, now more than ever, for these big companies and developers to realize that. And I think some do. Games like World of Warcraft Classic, Lineage Classic, RuneScape Old School, some of the developers do realize that we do want this kind of game. I mean, look at some of the indie developed games as well. So many are popular that take these retro graphics and pander to this old school nostalgia. We can have both types and both can be successful. Hopefully over the next couple of months, the City of Heroes players have nothing to fear. But since this news is so new, everyone is watching their back. With the looming NC Soft having issued no sort of statement yet, I think for now it's important to experience the game and just enjoy what we have for now. And if we keep a positive attitude, it won't go anywhere. It's important for fans to band together and keep our memories, and in this case, future memories, alive and well. I won't put any information on how to play the game since I don't want any sort of information getting back to the wrong person, but a simple Google search or maybe even another YouTube video should be all you need. As someone who missed this game back when he was younger, and then regretting never experiencing it when it was available, I think if you were ever curious about this game, you owe it to yourself to at least check out what it has to offer. You never know. You might have a story to tell when it's all said and done. Thanks for watching, guys. Tell me about your greatest memories on games you may no longer be able to play. I'd love to read some of the stories you have out there. Tell me if you missed this game, and if you are truly really happy to see it come back in some shape or form, or if you never even played it. As always, I want to thank those who support me and have been here for me. If you want to be a supporter, follow me on Twitter, subscribe, and join my Discord. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.